calling. Yeah, I can speak to you at this level. Yeah, I'm going to roughly speak about this level. I'm here, of course, with Nigel, Conservative MP. I don't know why someone keeps calling me. Hello? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll read that, yeah. Hello, can you hear me? I can, yes, I can. Yep. Yep. And then I pick up and interview Nigel. Yeah. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
Very easy building up. So start with me.
Yeah.
We're gonna start. We could start kind of here. That in the background.
Do you want me to move over?
You can move right. There's a.
I'll move it, sorry, I'm going.
Yeah. Or actually, let's swap around.
Oh dear.
What happened to the other Nigel? Okay, I just popped along. Yeah, he was around. Very keen on his views. Yeah. Right now. It's called political arithmetic. Political arithmetic. There's a difference between king and kingmakers. Yeah. DUP owns the company. Yeah, I like
It's the British way.
it's like a good bomber, right? It's all dedicated.
So we get a few European flags back.
It's good for you,
Yes. I the speaker, his huge speech is all about I'd like to force this done.
So what actually happened then? What was the outcome of today? Had a postponement on the duty? All right.
Cool coming to us. As you say, the political drama is certainly here at Westminster. This has been yet another very difficult and it won't solely because humiliating day for the Prime Minister accepting that after 18 months of negotiation, after 2 weeks of frantically trying to sell this deal to the British public and to many of her own MPs, that essentially she has failed. That if the vote had gone ahead tomorrow, she would have lost that vote substantially. Of course, the question then is what happens next. She says she is listening. She is now going to go and talk to our European colleagues and counterparts ahead of the summit on Thursday to try and improve on what she's got in the Montreal Agreement. But many MPs remain on the fence. Let's have a listen to what Theresa May had to say in the House of Parliament earlier on this afternoon. Move over there. Yeah, cool. Just one of me and then we'll come into it.
Ooh. One then.
Having listened to that, what is the view of some of our own people joining to get a sense of what that is? Nigel Evans, he is a Conservative MP, is a Brexit supporter, been loyal to Theresa May in the past, but you have said you trying to support the deal as it stands.
Yeah, I wasn't alone, was I? I mean, to over 100 Conservative members of Parliament, even to support those things, the backstop is the problem. She has listened to that. I think she's made the right decision to do further vote. It would be humiliating, I think, to have been defeated by over 100 people showing what had happened. And the problem with the backstop is two things. Number one, we rely on the DUP for support. If we want to cover post tomorrow, then we need the DUP voting us in our lobbies. And they said, as the deal stands, they're not prepared to do it. They don't want Northern Ireland to be treated differently to the rest of the United Kingdom. And then the second bit is, when we get into the backstop, we're not allowed to leave the backstop unilaterally. The European Union are the only in saying that we can leave, and that's not tolerable. We voted to take back control, not to give it to the European Union.
But isn't the problem that Theresa May says, yes, she's listening, but you can't really do very much. Everyone has made it clear, from Leo Varadkar to Nigel today, this deal is not open to read people's opinion.
Yeah, I know, but we were also told by Theresa that it's either this deal or nothing, and now Theresa has listened and she has decided to defer the vote to go to Brussels on Thursday and to reopen the negotiations. Now, if the European Union keeps saying no, well, that's not a negotiation. That is just a complete rejection by the European Union. Well, we leave on March the 29th. Now, I know that the European Union will want the £39 billion that the United Kingdom will be paying during the implementation period. And I'm sure that that will give 20 months to the United Kingdom in order to orderly leave if they want the 39 billion. If they don't, I'm sure that there are a number of MPs in the building over my shoulder who know how best to spend that money. But there is a real other problem with that, which is this: that we've got a Remain Parliament. Most of the MPs voted Remain, but we gave the power to the British people to decide whether we would or Remain. Yeah, it was, but in 1987 we had a devolution referendum in Wales where only half the people turned out and 50.3% voted for devolution and 49.7% voted not to have devolution. What happened? We gave them devolution 100%. We've never had a referendum in this country where we not delivered. And David Cameron said that we will deliver on what the people want.
Just very finally, what we didn't get today was any hint of when this vote may well happen. People are talking about in January. Is she trying to leave it to the last possible moment so it literally is a case between her deal and no deal?
Well, if that is the case, I really don't know, but it's much better for her to bring back a completely different deal that answers the backstop problem, because if Theresa brings back the withdrawal agreement as it currently stands, there is not a snowball's chance that it is going to get through Parliament.
Thank you very much indeed. Nigel Evans there, a Conservative MP, someone who is not backing this deal, and that is the tricky point to this test, is that we have got Brexiteers like Nigel saying that this backstop essentially is the fundamental change. And on the European side, you've got people like Leo Varadkar and Nigel who say that is not going to happen. What does Theresa May do then? Well, it's going to be continued to be incredibly tricky for her over the next coming days. definitely.
hopefully before Christmas.
Yeah, I'll be back on.
So,
Cool. Okay, so there might be another one coming.
so very interesting there from Nigel Evans, now telling us that the the backstop has been stopped by the DUP. They don't have the numbers to actually do that. A complete disaster there by Theresa May trying to get this bum deal through. It's not going to happen. Nigel just said could potentially kick it back to January. If it's going to be kicked back to January, it's getting closer to the opportunity for Theresa May deal or no deal. So that's really the only two options, but just a disaster. I mean, obviously trying to fudge the situation just now and to actually prevent an actual proper Brexit. She is basically she shouldn't be in power in the Conservative Party because she's obviously not delivered on the wishes on the direction of the British people to actually stay. Actually to come out of the EU. So I mean that's an absolute disaster for the people who are voted for Brexit. The fact that she's going to keep us in or try and keep us in the customs union. So this is just a nightmare scenario for people who voted for Brexit. That she is now trying to get the process kicked back to January, where she has to renegotiate the deal, gets closer and closer to the leave date, and more and more pressure will be put to try and force potentially her bad deal through and not listen to the British people. David Cameron said, Mr Evans there saying that David Cameron had said that the will of the people would be implemented. Well, it's obviously not been implemented through Theresa May's deal. And Mr Evans then said that this is going to cause major problems for people who voted for Brexit, that these people are not going to have their situation or their vote actually represented by Theresa May's debacle today again, her other debacle again failing as well. Unfortunately, because of the globalist implications in the actual Conservative Party, there's so many globalists. I mean, like Ken Clark with his Bilderberg cabal, where they're doing things under the radar that the general people and general populace don't know about. And their smoke-filled rooms, their cigar-filled rooms. We don't know about what's going on in these situations. It's all done under the radar. And what they do is they gerrymander who's coming into the political establishment we see across the road, and it's now disproportionately globalists. People who are MPs who are misrepresenting their constituency. And it's an absolute disaster. I mean, the whole thing has been a disaster. Theresa May has been a disaster. So it's now been kicked back again. It's just a complete shambles. It's a butcher's slaughterhouse. It's complete shambles that Mrs May has put forward, and now it's going to get kicked back to January. It's getting closer and closer to the Brexit time. More and more pressure will come on this, and basically the whole scenario will be tried to force through at the last minute, and whether or not they can force it through, or whether or not we'll move to a no Brexit. I don't think there's going to be another general election. That would be very silly for the Conservative Party. What there might be is a change of leadership in the Conservative Party for them to continue within the fixed term. But really, what the people say it's a no deal, but what actually has to happen is a zero tariff deal with the EU, and we have to have a zero tariff deal, and we have to bring that forward. That's the deal that everybody's looking for, and we might not have to pay the £39 billion. So there's all sorts of other things. I've not seen a proper analysis on why we're paying £39 billion. We've not seen a breakdown on the figures of why we're paying 13. We've been net contributors every year to the EU. So we've been net contributors. We've also got assets that are held by the EU but obviously get paid £2 million a year for the commissioners. That's obviously going to be quite lucrative if we're net contributors to the EU, and the Remainers will try and get us back in at some point. I'm sure that the Remainers will try and go and get a second vote. Well, I don't think they'll get a second vote before we actually leave, unless they try and postpone the leaving of the EU by trying to postpone Article 50, but all of which would absolutely infuriate the public. So the whole thing is a calamity. The reason it's a calamity is because Theresa May is a Remainer, and she is not doing what our mandate was to leave the EU. The deal is not basically not good for the UK over a longer period, and what is required is the fact that we have to leave on either WTO rules or leave on the zero tariff rules, which would certainly be better, and we would be able to interact with other countries on a similar basis. So, the backstop. What is the backstop? I mean, really, this is another frictionless trade. I mean, if there's the friction in the trading, I mean, it can be electronically processed now, probably leaving the wherever it's been manufactured. You could have electronic process that would actually mitigate any sort of backstops or anything else that's actually happening. Not backstops, but any friction on the trade. That's really trivial. I mean, obviously there's an issue there, but I mean, it's not certainly as significant as other issues, i.e. returning our democratic and our democracy to the UK. 20 unelected commissioners dictating legislation in the EU is not democracy. So, the island backstop and what's actually happened there, well, obviously this has the opportunity